let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
all
soon.
time, we got Mark with the Mindful Reality podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it. I just know it.
Oh, I don't know what happened there. What's going on, everybody? I'm so sorry I'm late. This does not usually happen, but a lot of things are going on right now. Not bad things, but I had to postpone for a little bit. Before we start, I have to mention that tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, for anyone who is going to be available at that time, I reached out to John Brennan. I know a lot of you, some of you might know him. He was from the second season of The Real World, California. And he's in my intro, if you don't know who he is. The one who has the cowboy hat and said, "Oh, you did a great job." He's the one in that intro. And he was also on The Real World Homecoming, if anyone saw that. It used to be on Paramount Plus. So the reason I reached out to him, if you guys saw it in my community post, I posted about this interview that he had. I think it might have been with People magazine or something, where he talked about how he's trying to jumpstart or kickstart his music career. And now he's driving Uber currently. So as I've said to you guys before, John, I interviewed him last year. I think he was either my second or third interview. I think he was my second interview that I've ever done. And he's been very cool to me. He's been very consistent with reaching out. He has given me a lot of kind words with regards to my dad. He also lost his dad before I lost mine. And he prayed for him multiple times. He's a pastor also, so he prayed for him multiple times. So I just wanted to have him on my platform to talk to him about life and the reality of coming off of a TV show and being popular, being recognized and all of that, but then the struggle to form a career. Because from my understanding, he has been kind of typecast, and a lot of people get typecast. I think that in this era, it's a little bit different when it comes to social media, when it comes to show stars, because I feel like the social media influencer game makes it possible to have a career no matter what you're doing. Now, to what degree you have that career varies, because I personally know a lot of these people that I have met through these shows that have a 9-to-5, and social media is the supplementary income, and the travels and the appearances that they do is supplementary, but it's not enough for them to just say, I'm not going to work anymore. So I wanted to talk to them about that. So if you can show up for that, if it's possible for you to show up for that, I would appreciate it. If you can't, that's okay. Check out the replay. Definitely check out the replay. Y'all asked me for another interview, and some of you said you want a live interview. So he's going to be my first live interview on this channel, if I'm not mistaken. And I have other business things in the works, and that is actually the reason why I was delayed for this call. I'm not going to announce those things right now, but let's just say my channel could be trending upwards, in the future. The reason I also don't like to announce things necessarily is because sometimes you announce them prematurely. Like all of you guys who are on my other channel, when I announced that I was going to have that interview with Indy, and it was locked in, and I sent out the Zoom link and all of that, and it didn't happen. So I'm not doing that anymore. I just kind of work and do things behind the scenes. If it happens to work out, great. If it doesn't, well, you guys won't know about it. So let me get to the comments. Hi, Mark. Even if I can't make it, I'll watch it in the morning. Got to get up so early, heading to bed now, but I can't sleep. I'll come and say hi. Oh, I guess if you can't sleep. Well, thinking of you, D, if you watch this later, thank you for dropping a comment in here. Night, D. Hi, Cass. Yeah, that was me. I'm sorry once again, y'all. I'm not usually this late. I might be a couple minutes late, but 45 minutes late. It's just that the timing was off. I expected to be able to be here at this time. I watched the episode, but a last minute thing. My dorm building caught on fire while I was in the bathroom, but luckily the incident was resolved within 20 minutes. Good evening, Debbie. Hi, Miss Nappy Kid. I can't have a meeting with my mentor at that time. That's okay. If you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. But please watch it in the replay if you miss it live when it's live. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and set your notification bell. And welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you, Tammy. All right, already did. Guess who Diddy bopping now? The first Diddy bopping reference of the night.
Okay, well, guess what? If I win, somebody ain't Diddy bopping.
Right.
Okay. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
If I win, one of them won't be Diddy bopping.
Mm-hmm. I think those guys.
If I win, one of y'all won't be Diddy bopping. All right. I'm going to read all this before I get into the episode. Thoughts on the Zings, getting to that. Yes, getting to that. You're always leading the Diddy bop line, Ma. Amen. I'm always Diddy bopping. Did you see Indy's face in Zingbot? I don't remember it. Hi there. Sorry I was late. I'm late, so I can't even tell anybody that they're late. Appreciate that, Miss Snappy Kid. 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Go on my live tab if you're on my YouTube. Hit the notification bell. 12:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll have John on here. You actually aren't that late, only by 2 to 3 minutes. Yep. We're just getting started. I literally started. Yeah, I started like 10 minutes ago. I don't like when they don't show the veto meeting on Tuesday's episodes. They're dragging it out. They have really been dragging this season out. Why is Miss Nappy Kid not showing up on my screen? This is weird. Can anyone else see her? How was your day today? My day was, My day was interesting. My day was not bad. Zinzi. Is that an African name? So is Janet here? You three are never on here at the same time. The three of y'all are never on here together, Patty. I'm starting to get so suspicious. I don't see her. How was school, Ma? Oh, you're a Libra too. Tomorrow is October 11th. Well, drop a birthday cake or a balloon in the chat for Patty. I happen to have my ukulele here. Hold on. This is the first time I've done this on this channel. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patty. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old are you now? Don't lie to us like Bowie. How old are you now? All right. Janet said she's sorry she didn't make it yesterday. Sure, Janet said that. Janet said that. Yes, it is an African name. East African, it must be. I have a feeling somewhere in East Africa. Happy 25th birthday, Patty. I see Miss Nappy Kid. 46. So you and Bowie are around the same age, actually, funny enough. Happy birthday, Patty. You're so off key, it hurts. All right. Bowie is definitely a liar. It's a thought, Ma. I thought it was good. Ma's a hater. Don't lie to us like Bowie. I feel special. Thanks for the song. I'm 46. Thanks for the birthday wishes. Happy birthday, Patty. All right. So I tried to write down everything that Zingbot was saying, but it was a lot. So I'm going to go through what I have. I don't have this word for all of them, but I'm just going to start from the beginning. So first we had this Zingbot with hearts on it, and the Zingbot was like, oh, complimenting them, and the Zingbot was saying nice things, and I'm like, oh, the Zingbot was like, oh, the scramble verse messed me up, but then Otev now was giving them zings. So the zings were what I was waiting for, okay? You won't be getting a song at all, Ma, just to let you know. Call me off key on my channel. Thanks, Tammy and Trisha. Okay. So Debbie is in my alliance. I'm not in Ma's alliance anymore. Debbie is in my alliance. All right, so let me get to these. So Zingbot started off with America, and Zingbot said, danger, there is a thief among us. America, you're under arrest for robbing the cradle. Zing. I thought that was a good way to start it off. It wasn't a 10, but to me, it was like a solid 8, 7.5 to 8, something around that range. Put in the comments out of 1 to 10 what you thought of America's Zing about robbing the cradle. Because this is what we're doing right now. We're rating these zings 1 to 10. I'm going to wait and see what y'all put in here. Put a number from 1 to 10. I never invited you to my alliance anyway, but the alliance leader invited me to the alliance, and that leader is Patty. See, Ma is like, have you guys ever seen those two Muppet characters on the Muppets that would sit in the opera in the balcony, those two old guys, and they would just criticize everything? That is Ma tonight. Zinzi gives it an 8. Yes, Debbie, you're in the alliance. 8, 8. You're an allowance. 7. Okay, so most of y'all have that one between a 7 and an 8, and that's fair because I said 7.5 to 8, that range. It wasn't the best thing I ever heard, or it wasn't even the best thing of the night, but it was a pretty good one. I'll repeat the first one really quick, Cast, before I move to the second one. Zingbot started with, danger, there is a thief among us. America, you're under arrest for robbing the cradle. Zing. All right, that was number one. The next one I honestly thought was just stupid and not creative. There's so many things that you could say about Felicia. You could talk about her nasty fart jokes and how she said that she's going to need a diaper. You could have talked about how aggressive that she is. You could have talked about her laugh. There's so many things that you could have said about Felicia. But he's going to say, who do you think brought the biggest wrinkles to this game, the multiverse or Felicia? And even the people in the diary room entries were like, she doesn't even have wrinkles. Like, she has good skin. I mean, I know it's an old joke, but it's not even a good old joke. And Felicia is actually a pretty vibrant person for being, I mean, it's not like 63 is that old, but you know what I mean. There's some people who carry an age differently, and she doesn't carry the age like an older person. So that whole thing about her getting the wrinkles, what brought the biggest wrinkles to the game, the multiverse or Felicia, I was like, throw that joke writer away. That was bad. I give that one a 1. What do y'all give? What do y'all give Felicia Zing? I gave it a 1. Felicia shows that black really don't crack. I'm tuning in with y'all because I cannot watch the Orioles anymore right now. 1.5. So y'all are pretty much on the same page with me. Felicia gets on my nerves. 2 for the Zing. I mean, it was 1, 2. 1, 2. I can see that. 1, 2, 1.5. It was not good. That was a throwaway Zing for sure. I feel like there's so much stuff you could say about Felicia that would be funny, and that's not one of them. Okay, so this third one, I did not get the whole Zing. I'm going to read what I did get down, but the gist of the Zing was calling Jag boring, which I have to admit, I gave it extra points because the only time I don't find Jag boring is when he's not talking about the game. When you catch him in a moment where he's just being funny and making jokes, I think he's hilarious. But when he's talking game, he's insufferable to me. So I gave extra points because I think he's boring too in the game. But they said, Jag, your game reminds me of a sports car. This one I don't have the full quote, but it was like, not an Aston Martin, but a Corvette and a Lamborghini, and one other thing that he said. And I was like, the concept was funny, just the punchline was not that funny. So I have to give that one like a 5 or a 6. It was a good setup. There was truth to it. But if somebody said it at a comedy club, they might be throwing tomatoes at the comedian. That's all I'm saying. Good setup, good concept, but the punchline was a Corvette and a Lamborghini. Oh, that's the part that I missed. Thank you. He isn't a Jaguar. Yeah, that's the part of it that I missed. Yep. He's a Corvette and a Lamborghini. Why would BB want to make jokes on Houseguest's body features? Not funny. Oh, you mean the thing about saying that Felicia has wrinkles? Yeah, that's not really funny. 5, 7. Jag was reaching. It was reaching. I mean, it was true about the boring part, but it was reaching on how they delivered the joke. They could have made it better. They could have made that one better. All right, so far in the lead out of the first 3 Zings is definitely the America, you're under arrest for robbing the cradle. 5. All right, 5. Y'all are kind of on the same page for me as me right now, because this is about the numbers that I would give. All right. So the next one is Oh, the blue one. This one was whack to me. Like, it was like they couldn't think of anything for blue, so they're like, oh, let's attack her fashion sense. So they said, Blue, the only thing worse than your catchphrases is your fashion sense. Kitty kitty purr purr. I mean, I guess people are annoyed by that, and her fashion, her clothes, and her fashion sense. I felt like that was low hanging fruit when it comes to a joke that you could say. So that one is pretty low on my list for me. It's got to be like a 2 or a 3. A 2 or a 3 for me. Cliff Hogg spoke up about it. His zing was about how fat he was, and really, why comment on somebody's body? I agree. Those ones are not funny. Not a Jaguar, Corvette, Aston Martin, and Lamborghini. Yeah, that's about what I gave that one to. You gave an 8 to the one about blue. The only thing worse than your catchphrases is your fashion sense. That one was not an 8 for me. Blue is also like a 1 out of 10. Okay, why her fashion? Low hanging fruit to me. Very low hanging fruit. And I don't even think that she has a bad fashion sense. I don't see anything that's bad about the clothes that she's wearing. 1.5 for she's got raccoon stripes in her hair, and that's the best they came up with. Yeah, that was a poor zing. That was a boring zing, actually. 2 for blue zing. Blue, so that was a personal 8 that you gave her. That was on a personal level. I can't remember. One of you will remember better about how they did this Australian joke, but I think that it said something like, what is the difference between an Australian creature and a shark or something like that? I forget what the question was, but the answer was like, one has scary teeth that terrifies people, and the other is a shark. That was pretty funny. That one was actually pretty funny to me. With her eyelashes and makeup on, Ma. I think they said, what is an Australian creature? Oh man. What is the difference between Bowie and I'm butchering it. An Australian crocodile. Okay, thank you, because I couldn't remember how they set it up. And it would just sound like I'm laughing about nothing if you watch this and you didn't see the episode. So he said, what is an Australian crocodile with scary teeth? I just have written down here, one is an Australian creature with scary teeth that terrifies people, and the other is a shark. That one was funny to me. I don't have a recall of exactly how it was said. What did he say? What is the difference between an Australian creature and a great white shark? Yeah, I get that was a funny one to me. That was really funny. And they all thought it was funny too. So I'd give that like a 7-8 range for that. Hers felt just like an awkward way to make fun of her teeth, which I didn't find cool. 4.5 out of 10. Fair. That wasn't right though. They were ranking on her teeth. 8. Okay, so what was next? They threw McCall astray. You know that I don't like that.
What sense does that make? The math is not mathing.
I mean, we knew that was coming because we saw them talking about it on the feeds and we heard about it already. But I'm like, why are we throwing Nicole strays when she's not even in the house? Come on now. Come on now. So let me see if I had this one right. He said, Nicole, watching you play Big Brother has had a major impact on my life. Watching you had got me from me bored to a 6-week me coma. Nicole was so under the radar that I didn't realize she got evicted. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That was kind of funny, but I don't play about my Nicole. So it wasn't funny. That was the most terrible joke ever. And that was a 0 out of 10.
You mad? Why you worried about how I do what I do? I'm just like, this is all way too much. It's so stupid.
It was pretty funny, though. I have to admit, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But I'm like, why are you zinging someone who's not in the house? Have they ever done that before? Mark and everyone, excuse me, but I think girls that wear big bushy eyelashes is stupid. It's tarantulas on your eyes. Smaller is better. Sorry to get off the point. Curious what everyone thinks. That's not my area of expertise. I have my feelings on it, but it's not my areas of expertise. So I plead the fifth. Y'all can battle it out in the comments and I will read your comments. Nicole made sense, but I didn't find it funny. 6 out of 10. Zingbot thought he was diddy bopping with that one. Eyelash bug, 5. I'd probably give it like a 6. 6 or a 7, honestly. So I hated this Matt one. I'm like, you're really going to call Matt dumb? Of all things that you could say about Matt, that's what you're going to say about him. I feel like you could have found something funny or creative. I really did not like the fact that they called Matt dumb in his zing. Matt, I can see why you hit it off with a cardboard cutout because you have similar intelligence. I don't think Matt is dumb at all. I mean, I know they made dumb jokes before. They called Alyssa Lopez dumb. I think they might lied her as dumb comment if I remember that correctly. But I didn't find that one funny at all. That Matt one is a 1 out of 10 to me. And it's because it's not even just because it's not funny. It's because he's not dumb. I mean, he plays dumb for sure. But if you look at all the different conversations that he's having and the moves that he's making within the game, he's anything but dumb. So I just did not like the Matt zing. Yeah, that's what Zingbot said. He said, Matt, I can see why you hit it off with a cardboard cutout. You have similar intelligence. That wasn't funny for me. What do you like on a lady? I mean, we can't control ladies. I don't care what kind of eyelashes people do. I wouldn't wear them, but to each their own. Zingbot was saying that he has a similar intelligence level as a cardboard cutout. Next. You don't want eyelash bugs on your face. Seems like everyone in California and Arizona wear them now. New York, too. It rubs me wrong, too. Like, somebody actually sat there and wrote that out. Like, Matt is not dumb. And it annoys me more because of the stigmas on him for being deaf. That's why it annoys me even more. So it's like, what reason are you like? You could have thought of anything else. I just think that was wrong. I don't like that. I don't like that. Matt isn't dumb. He made a mistake because he's never seen the show before. Definitely hasn't seen the show before. Dude has enough trouble in the house. I mean, yeah, fake isn't fake if your lashes are thin or lost due to alopecia or cancer. I agree. Only thing that could be worse than that is I know. I was like, this is really the joke that you're making? Like, come on, man. And then Jag was gonna kind of perpetuate that in the diary entry. So this was maybe the best of the night. We'll see. We get to Sari. They definitely did a save the best for last type of thing. Sari, the first few weeks have been hard on you. A lot of your good friends left the game. Now you can do what you do best. Lose while on an island. I was like, Zingbot, you dirty dog. That was a zing, man. That was a zing. I have to give that one like a 9.5. Sari, the first few weeks have been hard on you. A lot of your good friends left the game. Now you can do what you do best. Lose while on an island. Dang. Wow, that was harsh. Notice no guys replied what they like. You know what? I'll tell you exactly why, Patty. I'll tell you exactly why no guy replied what they like. If a woman asks what a guy likes best on a woman and a guy answers, you would have to ask me that question in person or on the phone or something. It's not happening on my live. It's not happening on my live. I learned what the internet does for people who have opinions. I've learned about the internet. That's why certain things I don't answer on the internet anymore, where I would just freely be like, here's my answer to that. Now I'm like, nah. Matter of fact, I should put my answer to that in. Nah, I'm not even going to put it there. Never mind. Sari was an 11 out of 10. I'm not mad at you for that. That was hilarious. That was hilarious and a great zing. Finally, a good one. She was robbed in Micronesia and Game Changers, though. I'm going to watch it after this. Well, because women don't like to be objectified. But here's the thing. The question that she asked would not be objectifying a woman, but somebody would label it as that. That's the whole thing. The question that she asked was just for an opinion. And if you give that opinion, you're going to get crucified. And I'm trying to keep it peaceful, peace and love tonight and always. So it doesn't really matter what others like. Most women dress and put on makeup for themselves. The Sari Zing was a 9.5. That's what I gave it. It was the harshest one. But how about, okay, now we're getting to Corey. Now we're getting to Kamara. I'm so used to reading Kamerica that I just automatically fuse those two things in my head. All right. Congratulations. You've received a military promotion. You've gone from lieutenant loser to a major effing tool. The reason I'm laughing is because I don't even consider that a zing. I just consider that an insult. To me, a zing, it's creative and it has comedic elements and timing to it. It's just like, I think Zingbot called Alyssa Snyder a waste of space or something like that. And I reacted not because I thought it was a good zing, but because I was like, man, this person who writes for Zingbot just doesn't like Alyssa. I think Alyssa was called a waste of space last season on her zing. So that's how I felt about this one. You received a military promotion. You've gone from lieutenant loser to a major effing tool. I'm like, that wasn't really funny, but there was shock value to it. And all his castmates were like, oh yeah, he's definitely a tool. I don't think it was anything. I think that Cerise's was really good. So Corey's I cannot really do because it's a whole song. It's like America, America. It's just like an entire song. It's like you started out by saying, America, your name is so patriotic. And then he basically said that Corey is ugly. He insulted Corey's mustache. He said his mustache causes pain. He said he's a tiny man that can't kiss worth a damn and let's throw him in the sea. That's how the song ended. Tiny man that can't kiss worth a damn. Let's throw him in the sea. I was like, this is just a lot of insults strung together in song form. I was laughing though. Zingbot made a whole song. Zingbot made a whole song about Corey. About his height, about his mustache, about his bad kissing. Like Zingbot went in on Corey. I have to give that one. But they didn't say anything about him eating his boogers. They would have given us, we would have had the zing of all time if they had added in something about the boogers in there. So, yeah, the Comerica song was a 10. I agree. So, I will say the Cerise Zing and the Corey Zing were like 1A and 1B. I think that I would put the Corey Zing as 1A. I'm so surprised that CBS would insult the Corey stands like that. I'd put that one as 1A, and I would put the Cerie one as like 1B. But those were definitely by far the funniest ones of the night. That's probably why I think it was funnier. I'm expecting the Americans with disabilities letting CBS. I hope they do. Matter of fact, I'm going to go on, not that my voice matters that much, but I'm going to go on Twitter myself, tag CBS, let them know what I think of that zing, because I did not like or appreciate that zing. And I've said this on my channel before. I worked with people with disabilities for about 5 years before COVID. I worked with somebody who was deaf. I worked with two people who were legally blind. I worked with somebody who was actually blind, like not just legally blind, he couldn't see at all. And I worked with somebody who was deaf and legally blind. And I'm sensitive to that because of that. And I said this at the beginning of the season that I like Matt, despite I might not like all his gameplay necessarily, but he's playing the game well. He's playing the game well. But calling him dumb, I don't like that. I do not like that. I'm not a fan of Cam's, but I do believe he should be in the house more than others. You know what? The reason why I don't care about Cam going out of the house is because he didn't take care of Corey when he had the chance. He put all his eggs, like he said, in that Jag and Matt basket. And because he put all his eggs in that Jag and Matt basket, that's why he's going home. Man, if they mentioned that, I wish they had put something about the boogers. I wish. He fought too hard, and that's why he's going to jury. That one will go into the BB record book. If they added the booger eating, it would have been a 20. Oops, I meant to say Mark singing for us, not Matt. Rest just assured that Twitter is already cooking. Jag's favorite word. Let me cook. Let me cook. They probably are. If I went on Twitter right now, there's probably a lot of people talking about them calling him dumb. Come on now. Come on now, Zingbot. That was terrible. That was 0. That was -0. I never liked Zing. Never found it funny to be putting others down. I like Zingbot. But I guess that's because that's how it is in my real life, like with my friends. From the time I was in grade school, that's how it was. We go back and forth. We just have If it's a friend of mine, we obviously have limits of things that we would never say as zings. Well, we don't call them zings, but you know, jokes. But not everybody has that sense of humor, and I learned that in my job. Actually, that's why I'm very, the version of me that you guys see is very PG, because I realize I can't be that person in certain platforms. I can't be that person online. I've even made jokes here. Some of you have even been on here when I've made jokes that I think are a 3 or a 4 out of 10 on the harshness scale, and people have left my channel because of that. They're like, oh, that's how you feel? I'm leaving your channel and I'm never coming back. And I think about what I said and I'm like, oh, that was not even high on my scale of sarcasm. I would have screenshotted his face if they talked about his boogers. 0 for that zing, just for that zing. I like Zingbot, but over the years he's weakened. That's true. I don't like the fact that Julie said it was going to be a special Zingbot, and the only thing that was special about it was the fact that the first Zingbot was the Scrambleverse Zingbot, and then the OTEV thing was the Zingbot. That's not a special twist. That's just, you didn't get it in the house, so you got it outside where you usually get it. Cam's already going home. Not till Thursday, but it seems like a foregone conclusion. Corey, sheesh, can't get names right tonight. I meant Corey eats it on the feeds. I've never seen it, to be honest with you. You guys talk about it every time I get on this live, but I have never seen him eat his boogers. And I'm glad I have not, as a matter of fact. I understand if you're ranking on each other amongst friends, but true, I have been holding back because I don't want to get removed from this channel, but I do hold back a little. I don't get offended easily, believe it or not, because in high school and elementary school, there was no such thing as bullying. The things that people call bullying today, wow, everything would have been bullying when I was in school. Everything. You could be physically beat up in school and it's not considered bullying. It's just like apologize and go back to class. Ma, I'd love to hear you not holding back. Yuck. The dozens, Jag would call it bullying. And it's like, what Jag is calling bullying, he's doing right now. He's doing the thing that he was calling bullying for like 3 weeks. You wouldn't have made it out of my childhood neighborhood without being able to play the dozens. It's going to be legendary lost footage. Well, I'll say this in Jag's defense. I will say this in Jag's defense. If you guys remember Jag, the first couple of weeks of the season when he was telling his story, he was talking about how people used to take his turban off his head, throw it on the ground, spit on him or spit on the turban, whatever he was saying, the stories of what was happening to him when he was growing up. So I think that it has broadened his feeling on bullying and kind of made him relive past traumas, because I was listening to him explain what he thought bullying was that he experienced in the house, and it was not accurate. I truly don't believe that his description of bullying was accurate. For instance, he was like, I would come into a room and Felicia, Sari, and Izzy were talking in the room, and they would say, give me a minute. Like I'm not allowed to be in the room. But it's like they're working together. So it's kind of common in the Big Brother house for somebody who's not part of the plan to walk into a room and they say, give me a minute. He was in the rooms at the beginning when they made that 8. And they had that 3 with himself, Blue, and Riley. And they told people, give me a minute, plenty of times. They left lots of people outside that HOH room when Riley was the HOH. And it was all cool when he was part of the group saying, you got to wait outside. It was all fun when he was part of the group laughing at the other people on the outside of the group. It was all fun until he was on the outside of the equation. So that's the thing that annoys me about Jag's complaints. And then also the part about calling Sari a snitch, that one specifically was like, that word has meaning in certain places. And he used that word very loosely. And he has been, in his words, snitching about a lot of things all around the house to get people upset. We even saw it in today's episode where he went up to Bowie and was like, oh, Cam has been throwing you under the bus hard, blah, 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 blah. He said all this stuff to influence Bowie to make that move to get Cam out of the house. Because Bowie did not want to get Cam out of the house until Jag went in there and told Bowie that Cam has been targeting you, whatever. He put a spin on it. He lied. Let's be honest. He lied to Bowie. I'm not saying that Cameron has never mentioned Bowie's name, but I'm saying he spun it the same way how they tried to spin Red to turn against Cam. Jag spun Bowie to turn against Cam. It's the same thing. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's all I'm saying. Rant over. Let me see. We're in the same alliance plus good buds. So yep, I want to hear you, Ma. I might not offend you, but I'd offend YouTube, and my naughty comments would probably get removed. That's true. YouTube is serious. YouTube is serious with their rules. So I got you there. I don't get offended easily. Me neither. Even on the occasion when you guys see me highlighting a dumb comment and making a video or a post about it, and you say, you don't have to respond to that, Mark. It's not because the comment changed my life or like ruined my day. It's just because I'm like, once in a while, you got to highlight a dumb person who's making a dumb comment and let them know that they're dumb before you block them. So you're not even allowed to say that. Well, here's the thing, Cass. I can be easily offended, but it would have to be somebody who knows me personally, who is saying something about me. That's what would really make me offended. If you know me, if you actually know me, and you say something about me, especially if it's not true, then I would be offended. But a comment section, I mean, I'm not like inhuman. Obviously, sometimes I see things that annoy me, but I sleep well at night. I'm not going to risk it. Cass, remember, I got your back. Let me talk to your family. You can in the regular comments, but in the live chats, you'll get marked for review. Oh, interesting. This is what I'm saying. They all been snitching on each other. That's a fact. Jag lives on Hypocrisy Hill for sure. You'll also get marked if you use more than 5 emojis. They'll mark it as spam. You know what's worse than the YouTube chats? If any of you have Paramount Plus and watch the live feeds on Paramount Plus, they block everything. You can't say dumb. You can't say stupid. There's almost nothing that you can say on those chats. Janet has been marked as spam for saying hit the like button. Janet needs to get on here because every day that I see Patty on here and I don't see Janet on here makes me more and more suspicious. Air the person's dirty laundry. Yeah, I'm the same way. Oh, yeah, if my family or close friends went off on me, I'd probably cry. In the competition, how Jag get to save the picture frames out of the water? I thought they were to... Yeah, I noticed that Jag had his stuff lined up. I did notice that. Patty, I didn't even see that comment. I didn't sleep well. I slept at 6 a.m. and I struggled not to fall asleep the first half of that. Yeah, the first half of the episode was boring. First half of the episode was boring. Are you talking about on in here, or you're talking about on the Paramount Plus feeds? I get suspicious of you and Patty, you and Janet being like Clark Kent and Superman. Yes, this. How do I see you guys talking to each other throughout the day, but I never see you on the same live?
What sense does that make? The math is not mathing. I'm just like, these people are, I don't know if they're sane or if I'm sane. Like, I could be the crazy one.
Mm-hmm.
I have one to add onto there. I keep forgetting to add it, but I'm going to add it by tomorrow. It was that same storage room thing, but it was when she was like, Jesus, you were way too stingy with the common sense. You had to spread it, you had to disperse that around a little better. Sorry, I had to say it. There's always one person every season that does that strategy on Paramount Plus. No, I'm pretty naive when it comes to YouTube. Janet knows a lot about YouTube. We are friends. Sure. Hold on a minute. I have something for that. I think I have not put this one up in a while. Hold on a minute. This is you and Janet, Patty. Bang. That's you and Janet. I met Janet on YouTube. Oh, have y'all ever seen Charlie Brown? Y'all ever seen when, oh, shoot, what is her name? Charlie Brown's sister, Sally. When Sally and, damn, why can't I remember these people's names? That's my show too. Sally and Linus, when they have the Halloween episodes, which, by the way, Halloween's coming up. We got like 21 days to Halloween, but the Great Pumpkin episodes where Sally goes in the field with Linus every year, and he's like, the Great Pumpkin is going to come and shower us with blessings and this and this and that, right? And she stands in there in that field with him faithfully every year, and the Great Pumpkin never comes. That's how I feel about Janet and Patty being on the same live. Y'all swear it's going to happen, but it just never happens. And then I bet you Patty would be like, I got to go to bed. I got to tend to the family. And then 2 seconds later, Janet would pop up like, hey, y'all, what's happening? Okay, let's plan a time where Patty's already planning the double monitor setup. You know, where you got the laptop in the middle and you got the two monitors, but she's going to have two laptops. One is connected to this monitor and one's connected to that one. So she's going to be typing at the same time. It's going to be like, hey, Patty. On the other side, she's going to be like, hey, Janet. Oh, what you know about the Great Pumpkin, Ma? That one, Jesus being stingy with the common sense. I know where I could actually find that because I posted that on one of my Facebook groups. Let me see if I could find that. Because I would be that one. I don't know why I didn't save it. For some reason, I didn't save it, but yeah, I'm going to find it as soon as I get off here. Yeah, I'm going to find it as soon as I get off here. Jesus, you are way too stingy with the common sense. That cracked me up. All right. I felt so bad for Sally. Sally was so faithful to him, and he didn't even care about her. Plus, Ma, we have both been on cliffs at the same time. I don't believe you. It's much more fun if you are different people. Hey, Van Hoot. I'm on the West Coast. Isn't she back? Patty is on this. Patty is serious about this, proving that she's not Janet. How do we know that it's not Janet running the Patty account? Exactly, Ma. Oh my God, that gives me nostalgia of when they would say it's coming soon to VHS and DVD. I had Charlie Brown on VHS. I had other things that I was thinking of that just left my head for some reason. I had a lot of VHS stuff. Let's just say that. I lose train of thought at least once or twice a night. It just happens. I actually want to start doing something on my other page, or maybe even I'll do it on this page and the other page, where when Throwback Thursday comes, I will highlight something from a previous era. So on this page, I could highlight something from a previous show era, like my guy Flavor Flav. Highlight a moment from like Flavor of Love or something. On my other page, I would highlight a TV show that I liked from back in the day. Rugrats. Okay, you just jogged my memory, Cass Wash. You just jogged my memory. So, Rugrats. Doug. I loved Doug. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I had a bunch of the Disney movies. The Fox and the Hound was one of my favorite Disney movies back in the day. Aladdin. I did watch Ren and Stimpy. It wasn't my favorite show, but I have watched it. I did watch it. Popeye was way before my time. I mean, I did watch Popeye, like old episodes, but Popeye was actually way before my time. That was not the relevant cartoons of my time. But the Flintstones, I had so many Flintstones VHS tapes, mostly from my grandma. My grandma's house, she never got cable back in the day, so all we had was her VHS tapes. So she had the Flintstones, she had I Love Lucy, she had Little Rascals, like the old Little Rascals. She had, what did she have? What's that? Shirley Temple. She had Shirley Temple. I was watching these things as a 4-year-old. That's why when people are like, sometimes they'll start talking to me about certain era things, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember this episode of that. And they're like, wait, how old are you? And I'm like, yeah, a combination of growing up with my grandma in her house, and also just watching a lot of TV Land and those like old school channels. Yeah. Ninja Turtles. Mark, how old are you? I'm 36. I Love New York. Oh my God, nostalgia. In the 90s, they used to play. Yeah, they did. They did. They did play reruns of that. Oh, there was, let me see, Felix the Cat. I was an anime fan. I liked Dragon Ball Z. Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner, Jetsons. I loved the Jetsons. Tammy, did you ever have one of those VHS tapes of like Flintstones and Jetsons on the same tape? And then they had they had some crossover episodes, like the Flintstones meet the Jetsons. I used to love those. Laurel and Hardy. In Germany, we call them Dick and Doff. I watched Rock of Love. You were a kid when Rock of Love was on. Do we got another Gen Z in the building? Another Gen Zer? I think when Rock of Love was on, I was at least a teenager. Yeah, I was probably like 20, 19, 20, I think. I watched Rock of Love. I watched For the Love of Tila Tequila. I had a big crush on Tila Tequila, even though she was wild. I watched I Love New York, Flavor of Love. Flavor of Love was the most hilarious thing I ever seen in my life. I watched Strange Love with Flavor Flav and Bridget Nielsen. You know, Therapist with the Charlie Brown. I love Charlie Brown. I actually did a thing, like a funny thing where I was not really diagnosing, but using my mental health background to talk about Charlie Brown's self-confidence issues. And I put it on my other channel, and I picked from one of my favorite Charlie Brown specials, which was the Valentine's Day special. And I talked about how Charlie Brown, I said this on my channel the other day. I'm like, Jag reminds me of Charlie Brown. You know, the way how Charlie Brown, when he wanted to talk to the little red-haired girl, he would be like, the little red-haired girl, she's getting off the bus. She's walking in my direction. When she gets over here, I'm going to tell her that I think she's cute. I'm going to give her my special pen. And I'm going to tell her that I've been noticing her. And then we're going to date. And then we're going to get married. And then we're going to do this and this and that. And then she comes over there. And he's like, I lost my opportunity. She doesn't even know I exist. If there's somebody who's the king of just analyzing and doing nothing, Charlie Brown is number one. But I love Charlie. Charlie Brown is one of my favorite shows ever. I could watch Charlie Brown marathons right now and be a happy man. Hanna-Barbera loved their crossovers for sure. You know what Flintstones videotape that I had? And again, I know the people on the replay are going to be like, what the hell does this have to do with Big Brother? But anyways, that's what you talk about in my chat. That's how we get here. And I'm staying longer because I feel bad about being an hour, 45 minutes late or whatever. The Flintstones videotape that I have was when one of the first Flintstones videotapes I have was when Pebbles was born. And it was a whole episode about that, the whole delivery and all that stuff and how they gave her name. He was like, you're a chip off the old block, Pebbles. And yeah, it showed Pebbles, and I don't know I think Bam Bam was already born. But I used to watch that tape over and over and over. I was a kid who had the same tapes and just watched those tapes a million times. Yeah, Cass is a youngster. I got with a chick on Rock of Love and knew the chick who won the first season. Oh, really? There was another person who had a Rock of Love story when I was on another channel that was interesting, but I'm not going to repeat it because it's not my story to repeat. Never heard of Rock of Love. I watched cartoons and the news. Oh, Bewitched. Somebody was just telling me the other day that they made a modern day Bewitched. No, not Bewitched. I Dream of Jeannie was actually what I was thinking of. Somebody told me they made a modern day version of that, and they had the original I Dream of Jeannie actress make a cameo in there. Yeah, you're definitely Gen Z. Wait, is 96 Gen Z? I think the first year of Gen Z is like 98. Gen Z start. 97. I'm seeing 97 is Gen Z. 1997. So you are actually, unbelievably, Cass, you are a millennial like me. Even though you are 9 years younger than me, you're a millennial. Love that show, so I can't make my Gen Z joke with you because you just made the cutoff point. Laurel and Hardy, me, Ma and Pa Kettle. I didn't have Jetsons, Flintstones, VHS. My baby brother did though. It was Bret Michaels, Rock of Love. People tried to date him as the Bachelor. My first ship was Peppermint Patty and Marcy. Yes, sir. I mean, low key, they like Marcy definitely liked Patty. I used to be in love with him. Clutch Cargo cartoon characters that had human lips when they spoke. Hi, Mickey. Are you new to this channel? Bret Michaels was so hot. I hear he always wore a bit. People have said that. Let's talk about Holly's story about the 2 cast members from Rock of Love. I want to hear more about that. You're like a cusp of millennial and Gen Z. It's like you're not considered Gen Z in a technical sense, but you grew up with everything that Gen Z grew up with. So you are essentially Gen Z. When I was in high school, I had a cowboy hat and screwed spikes in to be like Bret Michaels. The thing about my page that's so interesting this year is that it has such a wide range. I have people on here that are like 19, 20, and I have people, somebody told me they were in their 70s. It's like such a big, huge, diverse group. Last year, I don't think I had too many. Last year, I had more people that were my age and older. This year, I've gotten several more like people in their 20s versus last year. I don't know why. 63 Tammy. Ma is the encyclopedia. Ma, by analog, do you mean joystick? It's funny. What was it that I mentioned to this coworker? I had this coworker in January that I was working with, and she was shadowing me for work. And what did I talk to her about that she told me? She was like, "What's that?" There was some reference that I made. It might have been like AOL or something like that. And I made some reference to it. And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, and I'm like, "Wait, what year were you born?" And she was like, 2001. And I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense. Now I feel extremely old. Analog, they don't know what that is nowadays, but for some reason Ma does. I'm starting to question Ma's age, and I'll tell you why. Ma knows about all this stuff that was way before her time. Way before her time. So now I have questions about this. This is, you know how they were having that conversation earlier on the feeds and trying to be like, what is everybody faking about? Ma's age. Holly and not Holly, sorry. I'm looking at Holly's name. Patty and Janet being 2 different people. What else? What else? What else is fake here? I think Cass was low-key born in 1997. And this is just a cover just to not be considered in the Gen Z group. That's another one. What else do we got? What else do we got? Mark has a Gen Z obsession. It's y'all world. I just gotta live in it. I have no choice. Oh my God, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs. Am I the oldie in here? No, you're actually not. No way, I was just joking, Tammy. No, Patty, that's Tammy. Unbelievably, Yep, I'm a little lennial. Good night, Anunez. Mark really trying to kick me out the generation. You're really close, Ma. I turned 61 in August. Oh, you're 1996 too. Don't listen to him, Cass. People born in 1996 definitely grew up without iPhones. Let me see. Did you grow up without an iPhone, Cass Wash? I'm fairly new to the channel. You do a very good job. Keep it up. I appreciate that, Mickey. 61 years young, Tammy. Exactly. 61 years young. Zinzi, Mark don't want us in his generation. We're an exclusive club. I was just joking, Tammy. I thought you were in your... Oh, I thought that you remembered that from her saying that she was in her 60s. Welcome. Ma is around 18, 19. Or so she says. Try saying Lil Lenio 10 times fast, or I won't. When I was a baby, I had a toy flip phone too, actually, but this does not match up with your story of being 18, because I know, like, by the time you were a baby, well, I guess smartphones were not around when you were a baby, allegedly, so you could be telling the truth. It's possible. Blackberries were big when I was a teenager. I guess iPhones are really within the last 10 years, right? Yeah, I guess iPhones became popular like within the last 10 years. I don't even think I had a smartphone until 2015 or 2016, something like that. I've only had a smartphone for like 6-7 years. I got my first phone when I was 14, and it was just like a generic flip phone. You could only call local numbers on it, and you could only call them after 9 o'clock. I mean, if I'm not taking Ma's word for it, I would say that Ma was like, I don't know. If Ma was actually lying, I'm like, Ma knows a lot of things from my era, strangely. My dad was born in 1968 and my mom was born in 1976. 68 and 76. So 76 would be in her 40s. 68 would be in his 50s. The chick I got with was a girl with big boobs who stole everyone's sock on the bus. She must have got a bad edit, or I was really drunk when I met her in Las Vegas and she was a DJ. I guess ask and you shall receive. We just made out and hung out the night. I didn't know she was on the show at the time. Interesting. It came out later. Taya, who won, I danced with back in the day. You read Mindful Reality After Dark. Once it hit 11 o'clock, it became the After Dark hour. I asked, in fairness, I said, you can't mention that without telling me the story. So that's the reason why she told the story. It's made out and hung out that night. Oh, I read that already. Oh, you put the same comment in there twice. I didn't get a phone until Christmas. I turned 13. Now little kids have phones. Oh yeah. Well, that's a funny thing. When people who are like 10 years older than me talk to me about my generation, I'm like, you do realize in the generation that I grew up in, I had a record player. We still have that record player in our house. We had those big wooden TVs with the bunny ears. We had VHS tapes. We had slides. We had rotary phones. All that stuff was in existence in the 80s when I was born. It's really the last 10 years that really picked up steam with the technology. Because even though I had internet in my high school, it was dial-up when I was in high school. And you all know how that goes. We would not be doing no live streams with our dial-up internet. The rest of the story was cut off. 1968, I was in first grade. My baby brother was born in 1977. It's cool getting to know y'all, honestly. My dad is 55. My mom is 47. I'm 72, so I had a rotary phone with a party line, and now my fourth iPhone. Hey, look at you knowing how to use the technology. It ain't after dark until midnight. Those were the previous rules. The Gen Z rules is after dark is whenever sunset happens. I don't have an iPhone, but I do have an iPhone. I don't have a personal iPhone, but my work did corporate bullying and forced me to get an iPhone. But I will have to admit that my work iPhone takes tremendous videos. Nowadays, kids, I know, right? And they know how to use those phones too. You put that phone in their hand, they'll be making calls to people you didn't expect them to make calls to. Maybe not two to call, but by first grade. Deborah, Randall, we had a rotary phone and a party line too. I was talking to somebody about how when I grew up, I knew everybody's relevant numbers. Without having a phone book, or I mean, we had the phone book, but without having to look in the phone book, I knew all my classmates. Well, all my friends that were my classmates, I knew their numbers. Mom's number, well, there was no cell phone, so it was one number. House number, grandma's number, auntie's number, uncle's numbers. Oh, let me call whoever. It's all in my head. I remember this one time, like 6-7 years ago, my phone died and I had no way to charge it. I didn't have a charger on me or anything like that. And aside from like my mom's number and my own house number, I didn't know any other numbers off the top of my head. My great aunt, who was 78, was confused that my dad liked Nirvana because she thought that was a millennial band, even though every member of Nirvana was older than my dad. You go, Deborah. You know what's so funny about this live that I'm doing right now and what these lives turn into? When I list these lives as water cooler, nobody shows up. But when I list these lives as Big Brother, y'all don't mind talking about all this stuff. So I'm like, I bet to people who jump on this afterwards and watch the replay, they feel like this is bait and switch. Like I came here to talk about the Big Brother episode, and now y'all are talking about VHS tapes and rotary phones. I remember my dad's work BlackBerry that I would play on sometimes. Phones are babysitters. You ain't lying. These YouTube videos with gibberish in the comment section, and you know those are little babies. I know, right? I was playing on PlayStation this one time. I don't really play video games much anymore, but so I was playing NBA 2K something, 2K21 or something. And I went on live for the first time in this era. And I started playing this game, like a 3-on-3 street ball game outside. And this kid with this high-pitched voice was saying the craziest things to me. And it's one thing to see typed things in the comments, but it's another thing to hear their voice actually telling you these crazy things, and they're prepubescent pubescent, talking reckless, and I was getting mad. I was like, yo, kid, where's your mom? Where's your dad? Like, why are you on here on a school day? It's like, get out of here. And then I was like, I can't. The online option is not for me. I don't have the mental health capacity to handle these children. Really, Cass, wow. They had Microsoft Paint. Somebody was just, man, I wish Lisa was on here because I was just making a joke about her, because I asked on my community page, I was like, does anybody know how to make graphics? Because I need graphics for my page. And she was like, I know how to use Microsoft Paint. And I was like, Microsoft Paint, Lisa? Oh, I can't. I remember no one's number anymore. Me neither. Or directions. Because I remember when we used to go on a trip, my dad used to bust out the big travel map before we left. Not right before we left, but the day before. All right, this is where we're going. We start here and we go along this route. We go through here. We do this and that, and then we get to our destination. Now, we don't even look no more. We just put on the GPS. Hopefully, Google Maps or Waze or whatever you use is going to get us there. Better late than never. I'm on here still because I was late. So normally I kind of try to cap these off at an hour, but because I was so late. Do you still remember oh yeah, I like my grandma's number has been the same since I was born, except the only difference is the area code. It didn't have an area code before, but now it has an area code, but that's been 25 years plus. So I like my grandma's number, certain numbers, friends' numbers from high school. I have maybe like 5 or 6 numbers that haven't changed in more than 20 years that are just etched in my memory. But for the most part, if I got a number after, let's say after 2015, maybe, good luck with me remembering it. It has to be somebody I call every single day for me to remember that number. My nephew at 3 years old knew the code to unlock my phone. He said he remembered putting the numbers in. Wow. But not surprising. That's how this generation is. Somebody threw me a super chat. I'm getting to that. Edward, how dare you be late? You now owe Mark a chicken sandwich. Facts. That's a fact. You missed everything. Does YouTube have no? YouTube does not have any rules on how long a live can be. The longest live that I've ever done was like 4 hours and change, maybe close to 5 hours, but it was not on this channel. It was on my music and mental health channel when I first started doing this and sacrificed my sleep and well-being to be on here all night. My 8-year-old brother can work a tablet pretty well. He knows how to buy ESPN from my TV, ESPN Plus. One of my friends' son racked up like $1,000+ of charges on PlayStation Network. Like one day she went to go use her card and it didn't work. And then she was like, okay, let me find out what's happening. Finds out that he spent over $1,000. Not like took the card, but the card was connected to the PlayStation and he knew how to order things on it and ordered over $1,000. I'm like, shoot, I would blow a gasket and they wouldn't refund it either. I still have my mom's landline they got when I was 5. The number is still the same. My maternal grandparents had a crank phone. It worked until 1970. Good evening, Ed. Ed, welcome. Welcome to the chat. There isn't a rule. You can literally stream for a year, but it doesn't get posted if it... Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Rest assured, I will never be on here for 12 hours unless I have some, I don't know, $1 million of super chats in here. We are getting invaded by the Ed squad. Thank you so much for the super chat, Ed. For starters, Zingbot got the house guest really good. That's what we did at the beginning of this. We went through all the zings, and everybody determined that they thought that the top zing was Corey, and the second zing, the second best zing, was Sari. That was 1 and 2. We all thought that the Matt zing was dumb. We thought that the blue zing was dumb. Some people were offended by the Bowie zing. I thought that the Cam zing was like not even a zing. It was just an insult. Toddlers, really? That's amazing and scary. I'm happy that I had a childhood. I always say this. I had a real childhood. I had a childhood where I went outside a lot. I didn't have devices in my hand. I think when I was 14 or 15, I bought myself a Game Boy. That was my first handheld anything. I bought myself a Game Boy. I had to fight for my life. Oh yeah, I did tell you guys I had a phone, but the thing about the phone was that it was so limited and useless that it's not even like I really cared about having the phone. The reason my parents got me the phone is because I was in a dorm when I was 14 in another country from them. They were in the US and I was in Canada. So basically, the only way that they could speak to me is if they called the dorm, they would only be able to catch me if I was in the dorm. So they got the phone so that they could actually call me on the phone and I would just pick it up really quick. Hey, call me back. And then I would either hit the pay phone or they would call the dorm phone. Random fact. Edward, rate the zings. Yes, Edward. Fact, Edward. That's why I don't care about him leaving. He wasted all his power. Yeah, he should have got Corey out. That was stupid of him. All in all, I give it an 8.5. Oh, the whole episode. Yeah, I mean, Ma thought the zings were bad, but I liked most of the zings. Like, a few of them were bad, but overall, I think the Zingbot episode. I think the zings were good, not the episode. I just thought the zings were pretty good. But the Sari and the Corey one, I mean, Corey got a whole song. We had a house phone plus iPhones up until about 6 months ago. Those are the good old days, talking on the home phone. I mean, we still have a home phone, actually, but I use that minimally. Tammy, your grandparents were probably born in the 1800s. My grandma was born in the 30s. I think my grandpa was born in the 20s. My grandpa on my dad's side was born in the, I think he was born like 1910 or 1909, something like that, on my dad's side. Higher than I would rate them, Ed. Mark, I will cash app you for a chicken sandwich. Hi, Ed. Welcome. I remember all of our house phone numbers. I remember my old house phone number, actually. Yes, everybody hit the like button, please. This is a small group, but it's a talkative one, actually. Who would think 22 people could say this much in the chat? Edward type Ma's whole username. He's been through enough. I think Cass should be hired by Big Brother to write the scripts and to write the zings. I think Cass would be good at that. Edward, we're shortening our names now. Patty, if you convince Ma to change that name of hers, I will be eternally grateful to you. If I never see that name on my chat again, I will be so happy because it gives me such anxiety when I'm looking at it and I'm starting to read it. And then I'm like, did it again. It's just the username. It's just the username. Don't read the username. Read everything under the username. Yeah, the Corey song was it. The Corey song was it. I was born in Hamilton. I lived most of my Canada life in Oshawa, Ontario. I do remember the payphones that used to be outside. Remember when you used to call somebody on the payphone to give them information? And when it would say, at the tone, please record your name. And you would tell them the whole message and that's it. I'll be home at 8. Talk to you soon. And they hear the message and they just reject the call and you go home and you relay the message so you don't have to pay the quarters. That had to be when you were charged per minute with this. Yes, it was. Ma, if you are really who you say you are not part of the era where you were charged per minute with the cell phones and per text message. Text messages were like 25 cents a message or 40 cents a message, depending on what carrier you had. Because I remember one of my first cell phones that my parents got me, my dad was furious at me when he saw the bill for this 1 month. Actually, it was when they were starting to make the cell phone packages. So what they did was they said you get 250 text messages per month. But I thought that it was 250 text messages sent per month, when it was actually you receiving messages was a charge if you passed the 250. And I had to wait until after 9 to be able to make my phone calls. Yeah. There's so many things with how the original cell phones were. You had the classic. My little bro had Nintendo. That was my first game system, was Nintendo. I played all those games. Mario, Super Mario, Frogger, Newspaper Boy, Mike Tyson, Knockout. I played all those games. I played Contra. I played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never passed the level with the bombs underwater that you had to disarm the bombs. I want a chicken sandwich now. Why do I do it to myself? Cash wash, it was a dime to make a call. I used to put dimes in my penny loafers back then. My dad used to have penny loafers. Cass, maybe you are Gen Z because you are so lazy that you can't even type a name. Your name is long, though. When we had the house phone with the cord, I used to stand in the pantry forever talking to my friends on three-way. Frogger was awesome. Galaga and Mario Bros. Pages 143. I wonder if I can make my username longer. That was my kid's first video game. Mark, she's in my alliance, so I'll try, but don't put her on the block to get her to change her name. You shouldn't have suggested that, because Ma, you are on the block. If you want to get off this block, you're going to change your name. How about that? I was born in 2002 and I probably never used a payphone. We still have a few payphones here in New York. I don't know if they work or not, but I've seen them. My answering machine still says, please leave a message after the tone. My paternal grandparents were my paternal grandfather's parents were born enslaved. Oh, wow. Message and data rates apply. People still do the payphone thing from jail. People can get a lot of things in jail. Yeah, you can put money on the books. but people actually they have like an underground thing in jail. People have cell phones and people have all kinds of stuff that they're not supposed to have. They have like a jail black market. But the legal way, yes, is putting money on their accounts. Edward, I never used it myself either, but I saw them outside when we walked around the block. Then it goes to, you have a call from blank county jail. And then it tells you how many minutes that you got and all that. My name is not long, though. It's only Ma is angry. I'm not even going to read this. Matter of fact, you're blocked. No, I'm kidding. Ma, they have phone access numbers for prisoners. I still believe that's why some young people can't form complete sentences, because they abbreviate everything. I still get pissed when I see your instead of your. Thanks, Tammy. Okay, well then you can get evicted, like Cameron. Mom, my girlfriend's brother went to jail, so I went to visit him with her. She put money on the books for him. Oh, don't worry, Ma, I'll use the veto on you. Not my members working against me. What is happening tonight? Not my members working against me. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, Ed. Not my members working against me. I'm trying to process what you just said right there. You are going to use the power of veto on somebody who was being nasty to me, who said that I was off key.
What sense does that make? The math is not mathing.
You are the replacement knob. Well, I guess you can't be the replacement knob. But next week, if I win HOH, you are getting nominated. But I can't play next week because if I'm HOH this week. Okay, in 2 weeks, when I have a chance to play HOH again, if I win that HOH, you are going to be nominated. And I'm going to put your friend Ma on there next to you. How about that? No one is using any payphones these days. Far too many germs. Just saying. Yeah, I don't want to touch nobody's phone. Thanks, Ed. I'm going to add you to the alliance. I'm starting to feel like red at this point. I wouldn't let that get close to my face. Ma, Mark blocked you. Ma, they have accounts during COVID. They went to basic cell phone numbers in some jails. I'm your member, Mark. You seem to forget that. You seem to forget that. Ma, you can't just add anyone to the alliance. Ed with the blind side. Ed with the blind side for real. I did not expect Ed to use that power veto on Ma. I did not even know that Ed and Ma were aligned before tonight. Double Mimi on the screen. Double Mimi on the screen indeed. Because it deserved a double Mimi. You did paint a huge target on your back, Ed. Because we didn't know anything about your twosome alliance over here. The Hitmen. We got to get him on the block this week, Ed. Mark, she's in my alliance. You know I will save her. You can't both save her, Patty. You can't both save her. There's only one power veto. Mark, you are sounding like Jack. That is an insult. If you were Red, you'd be making money on TikTok. I would. I've watched Red's TikTok a few times in the last couple of weeks, and I've watched this guy make lots of money in a few minutes every day. If I knew how to make my TikTok work like that, shoot, man, I would leave my job. I like Red. I like Red too. Love you, Ed. Thanks for the veto. Ed is in your alliance. Ma is in mine. So just to be clear, I'm not a part of y'all alliance anymore, huh? I just got kicked to the curb. Because I'm just making sure that the math is mathing here so that I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, same here. I wasn't super into red, but I don't dislike red. Red was interesting enough. Red was interesting enough. All right, y'all. What time is it? It's 11:45. I'll try to stick around until midnight, 15 minutes. Mark is like Sari, he's on an island. I am not on no island, Ma. It's just because my people have suddenly become early birds. Don't act like I don't have people. My people have just, for whatever reason, not been on these later lives anymore. But I got to hit each and every one of them up and be like, listen, if y'all want to be a part of this alliance with me, you have to be up when I'm up. If I get on here 45 minutes late, you got to be on here on time. You got to be on here at the time that I said that I was going to be on here and wait the entire time that I'm late and be the first person in the comments. That's the way that it goes. Mark forgot to add, because it wasn't real. You were placating me, Patty, because the alliance was not real. That's why you don't remember. You're exposing yourself tonight. It's not even Waffle Wednesday, and we're flipping the vote already. Who is on my alliance? I will never tell. I will never tell you who's on my alliance because you will use that information against me. How about that? You're not going to know who's on my alliance. You are definitely not going to know who's on my alliance. But just know that if I win...
Okay. Well, guess what? If I win, somebody ain't diddy bopping.
Right. Okay.
I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
If I win, one of them won't be diddy bopping.
Mm-hmm. I think those guys...
That's to you, Ed, Patty, Janet. Well, no, not Janet. Janet is like a floater. So I can't necessarily target Janet just yet. Janet might be an ally. If Janet is not Patty, Janet might be an ally. So I'm not going to target Janet just yet. But definitely Ma and Patty and Ed and possibly Cass, because I don't know whose side Cass is on as of now. Mark has nobody. I was like, Mark, you're staying on for another hour. Nope. It's 11:46 here. Night, Holly. He will stay on for another. I stayed on for an extra hour, honestly, because I felt bad about coming on 45 minutes late. I did, because normally I would not have even stayed for 2 hours. It's almost 9 p.m. here. Oh, so did you not see the episode, Patty? All-time best. Janet will always be with me. Of course. Janet will be in your heart. And in your YouTube usernames. Janet is on our side. Get out of here. I need to hear Janet say that directly. So Patty, log on with your other account and let us know what Janet thinks. My name Bennett and I ain't in it. No, I'm not going to bed, Patty. I used the emoji owl and it kind of sucked. Yeah, I'm still going to be on here for a little longer. Just know that if I'm ever late by more than like 5 minutes, I owe y'all overtime. Because I honestly don't like to be late to things, but I trust me. I was late for a good reason. I do have some good things in the works for my page. Oh, speaking of good things in the works for my page, John Brennan, for any of y'all who were fans of The Real World, he was on the second season of The Real World. He's going to be hopping on my channel tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern. He was on my other channel. He was my second, I think he was my second interview ever from one of the shows. So I'm going to have him on here. We're going to have a live conversation because y'all asked for it. Y'all said, oh, I would love to see one of those interviews live. And so I thought about interviewing him on Zoom, but I was like, nope, I'm going to do it live. And we'll see. Y'all can jump in and ask him y'all questions. Do you think Cliff Hogg can join our alliance? That's a question for Patty. Okay, Holly. I'll probably be up for another 2. I can't ever sleep. Usually when I get off here, I hop on the live feeds and watch the live feeds for like an hour. It depends. If they're boring, I usually fall asleep while they're on. If they're interesting, you might get like an hour or 2 out of me, but we'll see. Comment is loading, buffering. You really typed all that out for real. Now that's a good emoji. Besides reality, what is a TV show everyone enjoys? I like superhero shows. Let me see. There's not too many current shows that I'm watching, but some shows that I have liked: How to Get Away with Murder. I like You, the TV show on Netflix. I like Ozark. These are shows I started watching during the pandemic, by the way. If it sounds like there's a trend, don't worry, I'm not nuts. But I started liking those shows during the pandemic. The Voice. I used to watch The Voice. Who's in Jail? I do the same thing on live feeds. I'll have them on at midnight and watch till I fall asleep. Ozark was the show. I loved Ozark. I'm like, they always find new ways to do wild things on that show. Hold on a minute. How can Patty and Ed give you? There's not 2 powers of vetoes here, okay? There's not 2 powers of vetoes. So Patty and Ed could not have given you a power of veto. I think the fact that both of you tried to give Ed a power of veto, Ma a power of veto, means that cancels it out and Ma is still on the block. I think that's the new rule. What a great show to bring you some inspiration about college life. Ozark. Yellowstone was on before Big Brother one night, and I was like, what is this? The double veto twist that both people can get off the block, but 2 people would win it and give it to one person instead of getting the other person off. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I got mine from the claw machine like Ian did. I want a Pikachu from the claw machine. I think that's probably the only thing I've ever won. I was in the mall one day and I was like, I feel like trying the claw machine. Let me see. I want that Pikachu in the claw machine. So I put my dollar or whatever it was in there, and then I just hovered it over the Pikachu. And I was like, I won, and the lights went off. I was like, what? I don't win anything. The only thing outside of BB is Amazing Race, Hell's Kitchen, and some of the game shows. I think Amazing Race would be one that I would like also to go on. It seems a lot more lighthearted and fun than the other ones. I've gotten into the suspense program called Found. I'm usually not into that kind of show, but it's not really graphic. Also, one of the child actors is a niece of a friend. Oh, nice. I'm watching Hell's Kitchen. I like Hell's Kitchen, Master Chef, Crime Scene Kitchen, all those cooking shows. You know, Big Brother is only going to be on for another, month or so. So Tammy knows how dry my pages have gotten in the Big Brother off seasons. So, I'm open to looking into other shows. I know I'm going to be covering Survivor. I know that I'm going to be covering The Challenge. I might cover that new show that Johnny Bananas is on. What's it called? House of Villains. Yeah, House of Villains. I'm definitely going to cover the new season of The Traitors. Like, come on. We got Johnny Bananas and CT and New York on that. I'm definitely covering the new season of The Traitors when The Circle comes back. I'm definitely covering The Circle. And I'll have news for that when I'm able to deliver the news. I saw that Tammy. Is it good? Isn't it with that lady that has a man in her basement chained up? Let's see. Amazing Race. You don't typically make alliances, so that's why it's more lighthearted. Yeah, that makes sense. Exactly. You're working with a partner. That's true. I wouldn't mind being on the trip you get out of it too. Yes, Patty, that's the one. Johnny Fairplay is on House of Villains. I liked when I saw the graphic of it, it looked really good. But to be honest, when I saw the video, like the trailers for it, I was like, I hope this is not one of those things that is a big miss, but I'm gonna check it out. It's on E. No, it airs on Thursday, and it actually airs at the same time as The Challenge. So I'm not gonna see it on Thursday, but I'll catch it on Friday. I loved The Mole and I loved The Traitors. They're both kind of cut from the same cloth. I love both of those shows. Is The Mole coming back for another season? Because I love The Mole. Yeah, check out The Mole if y'all haven't seen The Mole. I got another, what do we got? Got another 3 minutes, y'all. Another 3 minutes. Got another 3 minutes I'm going to be on here. In that 3 minutes, I want to thank all of you for your support, for sticking with me, for staying here. We probably talked about Big Brother for like 30 minutes at this point, and like an hour and a half about retro TV shows, rotary phones, crazy stories that Holly had about Rock of Love cast members, Ma being Ma, our alliances in here. Patty, funny thing is I'm a terrible cook. Okay, thanks, Mark. Villains, I'm watching that one. Omarosa is married to one of my... Oh, that's interesting. Older brother's friends and local pastor. You know what, Tammy? It makes it different watching these shows when you know people. Yeah, New York from I Love New York is on The Traitors. I got a subscription to, what was that? Was it BET Plus? It might have been BET Plus, where they had the new College Hill, just because New York was on that season of College Hill, the new College Hill. And that was entertaining. I know that it's a hard sell to convince people to get an app just for that, but do the 1 month, pay the $5. whatever app it was. I can't remember, but whatever app it was, pay the $5. It's worth your time. It's an entertaining series. Who's really nice in person? Because if you are talking about New York, I would be extremely jealous. I want Gordon Ramsay to yell at me. Okay. So my good friend is going to Tennessee to see his best friend. Him and his wife live next door to Miranda Lombard. They are best friends. He says she's real mean, and her husband flirts all the time. Okay, that was a bit of gossip. $5. It was Peacock Network. Yeah. So, well, I guess I had Peacock Network actually for Bel Air. Yeah, I love Bel Air, the show Bel Air. Amorosa, it does a lot of side-eye going on. Lambert. Okay, I got to the end of the comments. So I want to thank all of you for jumping on here, sticking on here with me for 2 hours. I'll be back tomorrow. It's kind of weird not having an episode on Wednesday, but I'll be here. Tomorrow will be day 70 in a row. Knock on wood. I've been on here 70 straight days. I'm going to punch the clock 30 more days, and then you are not going to see me on live every day. I will still get on live, but I'm probably going to take, I don't know, a week off of doing lives. I'll still do videos. I'll do my pre-recorded videos. Probably take a week off of doing lives. And then, I mean, I'm still going to be on here doing lives, but it's probably going to be 2-3 days a week instead of 7. But yeah, I want to get to 100 days. That's so crazy to think. 100 days, like a third of my year on this page every single day. That's crazy. But I've done 70 already. Thanks for joining, Patty. Thanks, Deborah. Don't even say that. Coming back on live when? Tomorrow's Wednesday. 9. I'll be on here at 9 p.m. I can't guarantee the earlier times because, it depends on how my day actually is panning out. But 9 p.m. I can guarantee. I can guarantee you 9 p.m. And I was late today. So I promise you, unless there's an emergency situation, that's not something typical for me to be late, to be that late. So I plan to be on time. I have evolved so much too. Sometimes you have to pee, sometimes you have to shower. Thanks for always letting us know what you need to do in the bathroom, Ma. We always need those updates. They're very important. Tomorrow. Well, technically today for me, because we're 12:03. I'm working overtime right now. I'm 3 minutes overtime. So all of you owe me $3 for each, $1 for each minute extra that I'm on here. Good night, Debbie. I got to leave this comment up here just for a couple minutes. No, just for a couple seconds. Because it's true. How you typing I got to pee in the chat? Every day. Good night. I'll be here if I don't have an exciting B-day. Happy birthday again in advance to you, Patty. Libra, stand up. We're Team Libra now. Yeah, I'm gonna cover Survivor tomorrow. Oh, I forgot about Survivor. I'm glad you said that. So Survivor is 8 to 9:30. So I'm not gonna be on here at 9. Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Deborah. So I should probably I did not think of that. I'm going to get on here earlier. I'm going to talk about Big Brother earlier than the Survivor episode because I want to cover Survivor. So I'll probably be on here for Big Brother like about 4 or 5 o'clock. I'll update you in the morning. But definitely tomorrow I'm going to be talking about Survivor later because I watched Survivor. Yeah, in my time zone, it's already Patty's birthday. Alrighty, the community has spoken. I want to talk about the challenge. I just don't have the bandwidth. But I will be talking about the new season of the challenge. I have been watching this season of the challenge. I have not missed an episode, but it'll be easier for me to cover the challenge when Big Brother is off. So that's when I'm going to be really diving in to the challenge coverage again. All right, y'all. Have an amazing night. It's been fun hanging with you all, and we'll talk later.
You literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But, yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian. I like this one.
Well, thank you.